What's going on, everybody? It's Frito here for Your Overwatch. Season 21 is live, and with it comes the week's bans. Orisa, Hanzo, Mei, Batiste. Blizzard just banned out the previous Metas comp. That's kind of weird. I'm going to go over a quick power ranking tier list for the week, but I do want to mention that I don't know when the PTR is going to be going into live. That changes things up a bit as well. It could come today, tomorrow, next week, but I want this advice to work in the event that that does magically go to live real quick. So a quick refresher on the things they're nerfing. Diva's boosters are going to 4 seconds instead of 3. Radically changes her ability to go in and out. She just won't be able to extend as far, at least not without getting punished. Mei is banned anyway for the week, but has major nerfs to her walls. There's a chance she's not even meta once she comes back. Sigma's ult cost has been reduced by 10%. Pretty minor change, I think, but a really big one is the Soldier 76's Helix rocket. 2-second cooldown is massive, increases his pickoff potential, overall pressure on the enemy team, ult charge, really big buff on Soldier. Now, all those changes, not live yet, could be live any day, but I don't think it changes my tier list too much, just something to keep in mind. Let's start off with the tanks today. Way up at the top, I'm going to say Diva is the best tank to have, even if the nerf comes through, because if they play dive against you, Diva's the strongest peel in the game. What you want to do is get the defense matrix onto the focus fire target. It's the only way you're going to keep your Ana alive, for example, when multiple things come in on her, or McCree, or other diveable targets. If you don't have this Diva and you're only running a Zarya, there's tons of DPS and tank picks that can punish that. Diva is going to help you against a lot of the spam characters, and as well counter the dive playstyle. Otherwise, the rest of tier 1 I think is fairly self-explanatory. With Mei no longer being an option, Winston and Diva might feel pretty oppressive, but I don't think it's enough to just drop Ryan out entirely. You might deem him to be more map specific now, and in more cases you may have to go to dive when the enemy's taking positions that is pressuring you down, but I just think there's lots of maps where Ryan is so reliable that even without Mei on his side, he'll still work in ranked. There are some soft dive counters, like if Brigida's beating you, you might have to go to Ryan to be able to have enough damage to get past the Inspire healing and armor packs if you feel like your dive's getting countered. So I think you're going to find it to be kind of interchangeable, map and matchup dependent, but they're all pretty strong. Just keep in mind that Zarya can look like a weak pick if they either dive you or they're playing the spam characters we'll cover in the DPS section. For my previous tier list video, Roadhog got upgraded out of the avoid slot and now is in tier 2, where he holds hands with Sigma without really a place in the game, in my opinion. Hog pairs best with, I would say, either a Reinhardt or, oddly enough, Wrecking Ball. If your whole team just plays for individual space and flanks and just have 6 flanks, then Roadhog can be okay. Luckily for him, there is no more Mei that can shut Hog down, and if you want to take matters in your own hands to try to counter a diver, Hog can be alright, but if the enemy tanks have any coordination at all, it just outpaces Roadhog's value if a Matrix comes in the clutch to deny whatever pick you are going to get, and then they also have defensive abilities making space for their team, and what do you have? Take a breather that heals yourself and feeds their ult, right? Sigma as well got a little bit of a buff, but I'd say his best pairing is with Rhine as a Diva replacement, but I can't really see the need to ever pick him. If you're good enough to just hit a ton of shots and guarantee a accretion rock connection on the divers onto you, and you can peel back and frag, then he's fine. He's just a harder to play version of Diva that can't fly. If that thruster nerf comes in, we might find Sigma to have a bigger place, but I just think he's less flexible and easier to counter. Now onto the DPS picks, because there isn't that much shielding in the game. I think Torb is a budget Mei in terms of the Brawl control playstyle along with Reinhardt, and because I think he's probably the best anti-dive DPS in the game right now, I'm putting him way up top. Remember, Torb's weakest matchup was against Hanzo. He's weak to all range damage, really, like Soldier will probably beat him, but his ult counters Brig and just makes it really hard to dive on you in any case. Overall, I think his matchups against the available DPS are pretty darn good. Assuming that he can hide from the hit scans that would otherwise beat him, he can rack up some serious pressure. Now, an interesting effect when Hanzo's out of the game, there's only one sniper character that can one-shot kill you at range, and Widow, unlike Hanzo, doesn't have as much utility. Her shield break is bad, Recon Arrow is amazing in ranked, doesn't have that either. I'd say the map pool is pretty important to this. Season 21 is going to have Hanamura, Volskaya, Horizon, Gibraltar Dorado, Hanzo, Junkertown, Kings Row, Hollywood, Blizzard World, Lijiang Tower, Oasis, and Busan. Widow is either playable on a few of those or dominant as well on Junkertown, but perhaps not as many elite Widow maps as there was in Season 20. And remember, there just flat out isn't a bunker comp available for this week, so really the only options are to brawl or to dive. McCree's at the top. Nobody can do more damage than him, but this alternate tier 1 section really comes down to the enemy's level of peel or diva. If they're lacking good diva or brig play, especially, either the range spam or any of these dive picks, Tracer, Genji, Doomfist can see some work. I really toss around the soldier placement. Even before he gets the buff, I think he's pretty good and would be pretty nuts. It could be even better once it goes through, but when there isn't Hanzo logs getting spammed, it's easier for soldier to put down pressure angles, and until they successfully dive him, soldier's gonna be really good. Remember, he has a ranged advantage on McCree, and he's easier to play. So at a lot of tiers, I think you'll find that soldier just can outpace McCree with less effort. At the highest tiers, you'll expect McCree to shut that down, but soldier has the legs to be able to flank, to get a pick off here or there, but as well, when he stays with the team, it's going to put out a lot of pressure damage that there isn't a ton of characters that can emulate, honestly. In my previous tier list video, I sort of felt the same way about Ana, and she turned out to be a meta god. I may be talking myself into the same thing with soldier, but I feel a bit more comfortable putting him in the if they don't counter category. You'll have to see how that shakes up. Other characters that are at the bottom of the tier list, Sombra, I think, until some major changes happen, I'm just going to say is a weak ranked character, too hard to synergize with. When you have a Sombra on your team, the entire engagement needs to be structured around where the Sombra is, and if it's not, you just get poked out, and it's like you're down a man until you get that coordination to work, and if your team pokes too much and the Sombra can't get a good flank, I think it's just too hard to play with random teammates. We may learn over time, watching the pros play really carefully executed dives with Sombra Doomfist. You may think that Sombra could, for example, counter Wrecking Ball, but I think it's much easier for Ball to avoid Sombra and still get a shield off anyway. And if that happens, even if you hack him, so what? One of the other dive counters, I think, have more impact, but EMP can still win a team fight. I just think it's inefficient. Symmetra is a character that I thought about putting in the avoid list because Mei comes out of the meta, and one of the best attributes of Sim is that she countered Mei in a lot of ways. But when I look at the map pool, Hanamura, HLC, and Lijiang Night Market exists, so map depending, you might be able to get it to work. But I will say I don't think Junkrat should be picked on just about any map. Anubis came out of the pool, and he pairs best with Bunker anyway, and it's been banned out. So I don't suggest picking him, and I almost forgot to put Bastion on this list at all. That's how bad he is. He's essentially just going to need a rework, I think. The game has sped up around him. On to the supports now. There's two on this list that I think are very obvious, and that's Lucio at the top and Zenyatta at the bottom. Reason being, there's no Bunker this week. Zenyatta badly needs Batiste for him to be really good. That's Zen's best pairing, and when you're either diving or brawling, Lucio's the king of both of those playstyles. Incredibly flexible, can attack, can peel, has a great ultimate, he's got everything. Brig did get a nerf since the last time I made a tier list video, but I still put her quite high just based on her playstyle. Her stats a little bit lower, they keep making her harder and harder to play, but when she can duel a Genji blade with her abilities, when you hit them all perfectly, it's hard to deny the strength that Brig has. And oddly enough, it takes some skill to do, because you sort of have to play off on your own, but she pairs well with dive, because she's a ranged healer, or playing inside with her Rhine in a Brawl comp. And those are the two options. She'll look weak when there's a severe poke meta, but that's not the case, so she's high up. I still put Moira above Ana, though. Granted, there is no longer Mei with the severe blizzard to escape, but having an escape is still amazing all the time. Moira is just very forgiving and durable, though Ana is the carry pick. She was last patch and still is for sure at the highest tiers. I just think that you might find yourself struggling to stay alive if the enemy hardcore commits to diving you. You and your teammates peeling for you are going to need to keep you alive, otherwise you'll need to be one of the tier 1 picks just to get any value at all. Keep in mind that there's an interesting relationship with D.Va, where when she has such a low thrusters, she pretty easily can go out and nab your Moira orbs, but because there's gaps in DM usage, Ana has bigger windows to exploit getting her mid-fight value down. So that's sort of where the rubber hits the road with that matchup. Ana has hardcore carry abilities, but is diveable, whereas Moira has less impact and also can be shut down a little bit easier with good diva play, but can't be dove herself, so there's trade-offs back and forth. Last year on the list is Mercy. I put her in tier 2, but a bit reluctantly. I feel that I'm a bit higher on Mercy than most players seem to be. I think the reason being is that because team play isn't as high in ranked, playing with a Mercy requires your tank line to be more disciplined because she wants to give resources to the DPS, and tanks are just hard to play. Teamwork is hard as it is, so the other healers that have much more impact in the tank battle kind of feel required for you not to lose on that front. But be on the lookout for soldiers on the flank with a Mercy attached. That combo will be insane. I'm telling you, Mercy won't get as much value playing in the team fight, but she's got the mobility to play well in a dive comp or empowering off-angle flanks. She can empower heroes like Pharah and Genji, especially with Blade. I think she's underrated, but you do definitely have to have the team prepared to play in that playstyle. Keep in mind, there's some pretty long-range maps like Junkertown and Blizzard World, so giving your teammate a res and a range damage advantage will be pretty good there, but it might feel required to play the other healers in the more brawly and divey maps that are a little bit closer quarters. Well, guys, that's the entire hero cast. We made it. I try to be as discreet as possible with this advice because obviously it's going to be somewhat outdated in a week when a different hero rotation comes through. Be sure to give me feedback on what works best for you guys. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave it a like. It really does help us out. Lets us know that you're enjoying the content. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the bell icon to actually get notified when our videos go live. Link to the description is our Twitter, where we tweet out news, updates, and dank memes. That's been it for me. I've been Frito for your Overwatch. We'll see you guys next time.